Good afternoon, everybody. This is Chrissy from SolsticeATR and Vulcan Capital Research. What I'd like to do for this Sunday, June 30th, is do something a little different. We are halfway through the year, so I want everybody to grab a pencil and a pen, or just mentally just say to themselves, you know what? There's still the next 6 months to go by end of the year. Whatever you set up beginning of the year as a goal, usually by March, everyone, forgets about those goals and they say, you know what, I'll start something new beginning of the year. Try to say, you know what, my glass is half full and I want to do something different from now till end of the year. That's how I feel. So I set up 4 things that I'd like to accomplish by end of the year. One is my health. I'd like to be a little bit physically fit from where I am today. That way I'd be more active at the gym and do activities with my family and my little ones. Number 2, I said, you know what? I have my partners, my business partners at work. We are trying since, for a year or so, trying to accomplish something for the future for all of us. And I want this to succeed. So I said, you know what? Vulcan Capital Research is the main core for our entity. We have 3 different divisions. One is SolsticeATR, which is an educational company that teaches people how to actively trade live and at the same time tell you when to get in and get out of a position without any biased opinion to a product, whether it's futures, equities, options. And we try to help everyone to be successful in their trading. And we do share in our chat room the trades that we do live, not just by talking about it. Number 2 is we have Vulcan 338 plans. This is designed for broker dealers and individual investors how to use assets in their retirement account to the advantage to have the right fit of products from large cap, mid cap, small cap sector rotation. We're trying to launch that out by the next couple of months, should be out there. Number 3 is Vulcan Insurance Partners, which is we work with broker dealers or individual insurance agents or advisors out there that are on the independent channel to help them out to be successful at what they do by helping their clients in business planning, personal planning, estate planning, and leverage their clients' needs and objectives. And number 4, I wanted to do something for myself, basically take my family to down under to the Barrier Reef. I haven't been there for a while, since I was like 17 years old, to the reef. So I'd like to go back and experience that nature's feeling and to be able to see the coral and nature in the ocean. So from now till December, that's my goal. What is it going to be for you? So that's why I wanted this to be dedicated and go be able to open up your courage and say, I want to do this. So let's start taking a look at the market. I'm going to start with equities first before I do any futures. And I want to do only a couple of them. AAPL, that's Apple for everyone. And if you noticed, Apple in the last week or so was consolidating, going sideways in this market. Remember, the NASDAQ and the technology sector was a little bit down. So we had Thursday up market, Wednesday was an up market of Fed day, and Tuesday was a down market. We got and we stayed up above the Tuesday market. We just looked into the Wednesday gap down on the Federal Reserve Board on Apple, closed inside that candle. Is it going to lose this area? If it does lose the 50 and the 18 simple moving average, the 50 is yellow and the 18 simple moving average is actually the red and green one. I do not want to see it violate this area, because if it loses the 195 area, that 192 to 190 is available. And if it holds this area and clears the 199 area, 75 cents, I think it'll look up in the 200 area and eventually come up to the 210. And I think since the market and everybody's observing the G20 meetings between China, between the United States, you got the Korea as well. Our president met on the north border. We have the sanctions on Iran. I think if anything comes out of this meeting positive, it'll drag the market higher. It won't drag it down. It'll push it more higher, elevated. Most people don't want to hear it, but I'm optimistic to the upside than the downside. Let's take a look at Baba. This is an Asian Google of the Chinese world. It's similar to Google. It's a search engine. We filled this gap up. We haven't been able to fill this gap up here, and I highlighted it with a box. So in case we clear that 173 area to the 175 area, because of these two candles, you can see the low on it is 174.75. The other candle is 172.29, the high. And this candle was 171.98, which let's call it 172. I think if it clears 172.50 to go to 174.75, I think we have clear air to fill that gap where it fell from and create that head and shoulder and continue higher eventually up to this area. If we do lose the 50 simple moving average, the only area I do want that BABA to hold is that 165 area. If it doesn't, look for the 38.2 Fib. Let's take a look at Facebook. Facebook, to the issues that it's been having, on the reporting, the Privacy Act, the data information that's shared in the global markets, as well as their software developers, programmers, and people that they use overseas, they're not liking it, so they want to try to make Facebook a little bit be more aware. So we had the Tuesday, Wednesday down on Fed Day. Thursday was up, closed above the Tuesdays. Wednesday's open. And Friday tried to look up, is this forming a cup and handle like a shoulder? Is this the head? This is the cup of it to continue higher. I think if Facebook can clear 194.60 area, 50 area, I think it has potential to the 198.200 area. If it does not and cannot hold the 50 and the 18 area, my first area would be the 50% fib, not the 38%, because this is going to be consolidation here. If it comes back in this area, look for a bounce for it. If it doesn't, look for the 50 first before the 61.8, and that's the 116 SMA, and 61.8 fib is the bottom one. Let's take a look at Google. Seems to be in a down channel, but I think the range, if you put a line between here, the midpoint of it, like in this area between this one and this one, we just put one in the middle here and we just target it this way. We should not violate this channel here. I think the 38.2 fib, which would be around here, would be in this area. I'm trying to show you how to create a fan in the middle of the range. And there's one down here. We can do a line as well. Oops, it took that candle. Let's just move it away from the candle. And that would be here. I think this area should hold the 1050 area. The 1050 area shouldn't go below it. And I think if it can hold here, clear the 18 simple moving average, the 1087 area, I think it can continue to 1100, clear this channel, and eventually get to the 1125 area. That's what I'm looking at Google. Let's take a look at Netflix and FLX. Netflix has been going sideways, range between 370, call it, and let's call it the 350 area. I think Netflix, because the subscribers, people tend to use it when they want to sit at home, watch a movie instead of going out. They want to stay home relaxed. They can do that. And I think this range eventually is going to break out. And if the things do work out and we hold the 50 simple moving average, that 360, we don't lose the 365, I think Netflix has potential to go to the 375, eventually to the 385, 390 area, back to the upside on Netflix. Let's take a look at Tesla. I'm trying to keep it short and very brief. Tesla, we got out around the 220 like 2 weeks ago. It's been consolidating, came down, to the 210. We didn't get back in, and eventually it got to our first target that I was looking at, the 220 to 220, I mean the 228 to 230, and we eventually rejected, came back in the consolidation in the 215 area. It's been going between 215 and 225. I think if this time it clears the 50 SMA and holds the 18 simple moving average, that would be the line in the sand, and you can clear that down channel, you're going to get a breakout on Tesla. This is what I'm thinking. If things do work out in the G20 and things are great, and Tesla can do deliver to the international market their product a little bit more, because there are, you know, people that are purchasing Tesla because they like the electric stuff. I know General Motors, Ford, and Tesla are back to back. General Motors being number one for the last 10, 12 years. Tesla's catching up. Toyota is just backed up a little bit. It was always between General Motors, Toyota. Now Tesla's catching up. Is General Motors going to be able to deliver more, or is it Tesla that's going to be able to deliver more and fix the glitches that they have in their manufacturing? When the car breaks down, get it fixed on time, parts and all that. If it does, I think it has potential to clear the 250 area to the 262, then eventually to the 280 area. But at this point, keep an eye on the 218, 215 area. If it holds, if it doesn't, look for the backside of the 50 simple moving, 50 fib, and the 61.8, which is the 200. That would be a mental game. There's a little bit, you see, between those two candles, when it pushed up, came back, it's consolidating. I think if we clear the 225, 230, I think it's potentially to clear the 335 all the way to the 260. That's my opinion on Tesla, okay? I would look for re-entering on strength of the market in it. Let's take a look at ExxonMobil. That 75 area has always been a great area to accumulate, you know, shares in it, and eventually, you know, dumping around the $80 range. If Exxon can hold, you know, the 18 simple moving average is 76 and clear the 77 area, I think it has potential to hit the 78 and eventually 79 to the 80 area, where it fell through from this area here, these two candles that dropped it. Is this a cup and handle, which is, you know, the side consolidation, the head, the side consolidation, eventually break up? Let's take a look at Twin Resort. I like that consolidation, it's rounded, it's got that cup and handle. See this consolidation here? We looked to that area where we fell down from, we looked into it, we got rejection, it's going sideways. If this channel is going to break, are we going to clear the 50 simple moving average, 116 simple moving average, clear the 127, eventually get that to that oval up here? I'd like to see it up in that oval. That's another idea you can look into. Because, you know, wing around the holidays and Christmas, people do like to go to resorts, like to go gambling and stuff. That's what I'm looking at eventually to be in. I want to look at, have you guys look at Shopify and A, because a lot of people were trading it. Shopify, when it fell through that 300 area, 325, everybody was short from this area. They made good money to the 285 area. What I'd like to say is this, that the move should be potentially higher if you can clear the 18 simple moving average, the 310 and the 315, then it has potential to go back up. But if it has rejection at the 315 area, be careful of it, because it can lose this channel, come back to the 50 simple moving average and continue higher. I am not in it. I know some people were in it, such as Brad, and other people were shorting into it. They made a good return in it. So let's see what we can do. Let's take a look at NVDA, and I'll go to the futures, finish up a little bit fast. NVDA broke this channel. If this is the second channel, it already broke through. It's pushing higher, because you got 1, 2, 3 pushing higher. Is this consolidation sideways? Does it hold this backside of this channel? If it holds the 159, 158 area, 160, does it continue to get back to the 200 SMA where it fell from in the backside of this down move? And I would think, you know, the 175 to 180 would be the target in NVDA. Let's just put a marker on it here between the 175 and the oops, come on. We'll do 172 to 177. We'll mark this area here. So that's NVDA. Let's take a look at the small cap IWM, which is the iShare 2000. And I'm going to show something about this, which is very nice chart that I would like you guys to think about. There's the down move down, then the push up, down move down, and the push up. So what I'd like to see, this cup, this is the handle. If we clear that 156, because these 2 days, they pushed on Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday very heavily, the IWM lower, but it cleared the 152 area. As long as we're above that 152 area, 153, I think the IWM is very strong, and we cleared the 156.30 cents. It's got potential to clear to the 160 target area, 159.50 to the 161 area. That would be my target in the IWM, because the small cap was acting weak prior Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday down, then on Thursday took off, and on Friday filled the gap. So are these two candle continuation? Because of the G20 small caps usually start the move first. This is the first time I see the small cap, because it was range between the 160 and 150. Is this time we're going to clear the 160 and continue higher? Hope so, and they do agree on some stuff internationally. Let's take a look at the RTY. RTY, okay, minimize this a little bit. Okay, RTY is in a similar situation. Eventually the target is, I'd like to see, this, the 1600, 1620, 1640. That's what I'd like to see in the Russell. We finished that lower move down. If you notice, let's remove this drawing because it's no longer valid. I had this old one down here. This one is parallel. We cleared this first channel. We're trying to clear the second. If this is gap and going, that today, when the market opens on Sunday, if the sentiment is green and everything is well, I think we continue higher and eventually push higher. That's the Russell. Let's take a look at the NQ. The NASDAQ is in a similar situation, but it was a little bit weaker that day. So what I'd like to show is on the NASDAQ that Tuesday was a down move. Wednesday was consolidation into the Fed day, but it was still weak. Then you had Thursday, Friday push up, but they couldn't clear. They just cleared the Wednesday sentiment, but couldn't clear the Tuesday. If we can continue and clear, we clear the 78.20 area, 25. I think continuation to the upside, as long as we don't lose the 18 simple moving average and the 50 simple moving average, that would be great. Let's take a look at YM, which is the Dow 30. The Dow 30 is in the same up channel, but still haven't been able to clear the Wednesday or the Thursday move. If we can clear this and continue higher, I'd like to clear this box area here to get to the 2700 and then 27400. If we lose the 27400, 26400, be careful of it, and the 26300 would be a very critical area in the Dow, because the strength would be lost in the 18 simple moving average and the 50, the 38.2 supposed to hold, or the 50 fib. If it comes back in this area, then the sentiment has changed. Let's take a look at the ES, which is the S&P 500. S&P 500 was a little bit stronger than the Dow as well as the NASDAQ, and I can see that because this was the Tuesday move, this is the Wednesday move, Thursday, Friday, cleared it, almost we have cleared. If we have clear and we clear the 2965, I think we have potential to continue higher and continue to the upside of the 3000 mark to the 3014. That's where I think the target is in the S&P 500, unless we lose the 18, the 26, 2926 and the 2910 area, 15 area. Be careful of it, because the 38.2 would be the 50%, the 38.2 fib and the 50 SMA, and eventually get back to the 50 fib. So that's that on the S&P. And if I do the combination of those instruments, which we do the SPX plus the NDX plus the RUT, the Russell, plus the $DJI, that would more influence on all the small cap tech sector 30 companies in the S&P 500. You can see that formation of a cup and handle. If this is cleared, that's what we're looking for. If this doesn't continue and we lose the channel, look for the backside of this gap, which would be the the 38,270 to the 38,130 area, because that would be the backside and that would be the 18 SMA as well. So from us here at Solstice ATR and Balkan Capital Research, remember the next 6 months, fill up your cup with whatever goal you want and accomplish it. Say, you know what, I'm going to be courageous and be able to get up and do what's good for myself, for my family, and for everybody around you. Set something up from now till end of the year so you can do what you need to do. And take care and look forward to seeing you in that chat room. And remember, this video is always free. Over and out.